We've all heard about manifestation. You visualize, affirm, and try to raise your vibration. But if it's so powerful, why do so many people still feel stuck? Why does it seem to work like magic for some, while others see no results at all? Here's the truth. Manifestation alone is incomplete. Without deep energy work, you might just be reinforcing the very blocks that are keeping you stuck. In this video, I'm breaking down the hidden flaws of traditional manifestation and revealing the missing piece that actually leads to real transformation. So what is manifestation versus energy work? Well, oftentimes manifestation gets confused for the practices of manifesting, like visualization or affirmations. But in reality, manifestation is actually creation. It's connecting to our power as creators and being able to create what we have in our mind into physical reality. This ties into Hermetic wisdom as well. Everything is mind, right? At some point, everything that exists right now, whether it's a building, whether it's artwork, phone, whatever it may be, at some point, it was just a thought in someone's mind. And they use the power of manifestation to bring it into reality, in physical reality. They created it. And energy work serves as the fuel for this process. So it's associated with identity level shifts, with clearing emotional baggage, with working through traumas, with reprogramming the subconscious mind. All of these things affect us on an energetic level. And how we can perceive this is, have you ever had an experience where someone walks into a room and off the bat, you can either feel like, oh wow, this person has really good energy, like they're like a magnet. People want to go around them and be around them. Or even on the flip side of that, someone comes into a room and it just feels like all the air was sucked out and just a dense, heavy vibration. That's how powerful our energy is. And being able to understand what that is and how we're able to work with that to create a reality, to manifest what we have in our mind into physical reality, that's where the key lies. So let's talk about some of the flaws of pure manifestation practices. Many people try to manifest from a place of resistance or lack, and this causes a misalignment from the mind and from the heart. Let's say, for example, if I'm trying to manifest 10K a month of additional income, yet deep down inside of me, I don't believe that I can or that I'm worthy of that, I'm setting myself up for failure, right? Because I'm trying to move in this direction with my mind, but my emotional beliefs and my energy are going in this direction because they don't believe it. It's not aligned. So I'm staying stuck in neutral because I'm not really moving in any given direction. My energy split. And when I can bring it all together and singular and aligned and moving into one direction, when my mind and my heart are aligned, that's when I really start to unlock the magic that exists in this life. And things start to happen, right? Things outside of our realm of understanding start to pop up and we become more receptive and open to those opportunities. And a big part of that process is also getting out of our own way. I can't tell you how many times I was in the practice of manifesting and I wanted to get into a specific direction, specific place. And I believed that I had to do it this way, do this, do that, do this in order to get there. However, life and the universe works on a level way beyond our comprehension. So if I'm aligned mentally and energetically, there's also a part of it where I have to remain open, right? Because it could be that an opportunity comes up that I hadn't planned for. And by reacting to that and responding to that, that opens up another path and then another path. And it might be in a completely different direction of what I originally had thought, but ultimately I get to where I'm looking to get to, or somewhere even better, right? So also keep open to different possibilities. So another important detail is sometimes when we're manifesting from a place of lack, we put way too much importance on it. And energetically speaking, it's overbearing, right? It's like, I really want this. I really, really want this. And that in turn turns the universe off. I had this beautiful realization recently where I was having dinner at a friend's house, and we were all eating, having a great time. And my friend has a handful of beautiful dogs, and one in particular caught my attention. And she kept whining and whining, begging for food. And the more she would whine and beg, the less I wanted to actually give her the food. And in this moment, I had like this aha moment, right? And it goes in line with the Hermetic wisdom of as above, so below. And it clicked for me. I realized like this is how it is with the universe. If I'm that dog begging, begging for this manifestation for what I'm looking to create, the universe is going to be like, no, thank you, right? So if I'm able to be centered, aligned, and be direct with what I want and firm within my being, the universe responds. It's like a reward, right? And kind of connecting with the other dogs that were there that were sitting, waiting patiently. Like, yeah, I felt enticed to give them food, so I did. Whereas the one dog who kept crying and whining, like, you're gonna get food last, right? Like, chill out. So it was a really beautiful realization in that moment.
All right. Now let's talk about how energy work complements and enhances manifestation. Ancient wisdom says energy first, manifestation second. Indigenous cultures have taught for thousands of years that true transformation happens at an energetic level before physical reality can actually shift. According to indigenous wisdom, if your energy isn't aligned, no amount of positive thinking or visualization will change your reality.
And as we begin to do this energy work and really start to clear these blockages and open ourselves up to new things, we're able to really align with our intentions, right? And no longer are these limiting beliefs or these blockages sabotaging what we're working towards. We're able to tweak it to really give us an impulse, right? To really take off in that direction that we want to go to. So by doing this energy work, we're able to also start to shift and understand that when we focus on the version of ourselves that can achieve what we're looking to create, we begin to connect with that version, right? I start to ask myself, okay, well, what characteristics does that Ricardo have? Well, he's confident, he's firm, he's empathetic. And as I start to repeat these things to myself, I don't just focus on the thought of what that is. I really start to feel it energetically. Okay, well, how does it feel? How did it feel when I felt really confident? I feel it in my body. I connect with those moments where I feel really confident and I allow that vibration to go into my body. And I start going down the list. I give each item its proper amount of time. This is not like something to go off a checklist and keep going down and just move through. This is real work. This is allowing myself to feel it. And something very peculiar happens when I do that. I start to embody these characteristics. Right after my meditation, I feel it. I feel that version of myself is right here with me now. And it's really curious how life starts to respond to that and how I respond to life. It's like this interaction, give and take, the equilibrium. So by doing this energy work, we're able to release that excess emotional baggage, those limiting beliefs, that emotional trauma. And it's like taking a 50-pound weighted vest off that you've been carrying your whole life. Can you imagine how that feels? That's a new way of being. You start running, you take off, right? And that's exciting and that's fun. And although some of the work with the energy work can sometimes be perceived as heavy or challenging, it's something that builds grit. And ultimately, as you continue to go down this path, it's something you understand that you have total control of how you're going to go through that, how you choose to move through that, right? Life isn't what anyone else tells you it is, it's what you choose it to be. And that's just such an empowering understanding that's helped me just be able to break through all these different limiting thoughts that have been put on me by other people. So ultimately, energy work is the missing piece in this manifestation equation, right? Because again, manifestation is creation. It's not just visualization, it's not just affirmations, it's creation. So once we put in the visualization attached energetically with the emotional feeling of what that visualization makes me feel like, with the affirmations, again, energetically connecting with that feeling, and then working through our blockages and limiting beliefs on an energetic level, oof, that's like putting jet fuel in your car, right? You're taking off. Now let's talk about why many people struggle with manifestation. The subconscious mind controls about 95% of your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. It's like an energetic autopilot. Your subconscious mind is programmed based off of these limiting beliefs, if they exist, emotional damage. So you can think of it like this. Let's say you have a bucket with a bunch of holes. The bucket is mind, and the holes are your limiting beliefs, traumas, and emotional damage. No matter how much you try to fill up that bucket, it's always going to leak out. And the same goes with manifestation and these visualizations and affirmations. You can do that as much until your face turns blue. However, it's going to be very, very challenging for you to um, manifest fruits of your labor in that situation. So it's extremely important that we do the inner work so that we can start to patch up these holes, so that the work that we're doing with visualization, with affirmations, is aligned with the work that we're doing energetically. And little by little, that bucket actually starts to fill up as we patch those holes. And then sooner than later, before you even realize it, you're creating. You're creating. And just to take it one step deeper, you're creating right now, right? You are a creator of your life. And the difference between this path and staying and continuing down the road that we're walking down is that once you become a conscious creator, then you know exactly what you're allowing into your life. You know exactly what you're creating. But when you're not, life is happening to you because the subconscious mind and all these patterns that we have adopted throughout the years are an autopilot, and they're manifesting and creating reality based off of that. And I know that can be a hard pill to swallow, and it was for myself when I first started. The way I like to perceive it, especially since I've been working on these regenerative agriculture projects, I've really connected with nature and have been able to see the great teacher that it is. And the way I perceive it is you have your garden, right? And you plant your seeds, and you just get an abundance of plants, including weeds, right? Part of the work of gardening is cleaning out the weeds and making sure that the seeds that you sow grow. So I see almost identically in the mind. Okay, what are these beliefs that are sprouting, that are there? What are these weeds that need to be pulled? And once I locate them, I pull that weed, which is a limiting belief in this case, and then I plant the seed of the belief that I choose to replace it with. This allows the reprogramming of the subconscious mind. And as I continue to do this work, reality reacts to that, responds to that. I respond to it. Because now I'm perceiving life through a different lens. And I'm able to move through it with a different energy, right? Based on the beliefs that I choose to plant in my mind. Another thing to take note of is that limiting beliefs create energetic misalignment. I want you to think about times where you thought of a negative thought, a negative belief, like, I can't do that, right? I want you to really connect and think about how it felt in your body, right? Your body is a very intuitive and advanced system. And usually when you have, well, I'll speak for myself. Usually when I have negative thoughts, my body lets me know. Sometimes in my stomach, I'll feel like a little uneasy. And that's often a trigger for me. Like, okay, I'm not feeling very well. What's going on? What am I thinking? And then once I bring it to my thoughts, then I observe, I see what I'm thinking and why my body's reacting. My body's telling me, hey, this is not good for you. This does not serve you. Like, sounding the alarm. And then once I'm able to perceive what the thought is, then that's when I'm able to understand, like, okay, well, this doesn't serve me. Let's pull that weed. What would I like to replace it with instead? And I plant that. And a common one that I went through, is that in order to succeed, I got to work hard. I got to work my ass off. I got to work X amount of hours a day, be in overdrive, and then success will come. And lo and behold, that led to a lot of burnout for me. And then I started to understand and see, especially once I started to study other successful people, the power of leverage, right? And this whole idea of working smarter, not harder. And that's when I started to really shift my belief with that. It's like, okay, maybe I don't have to work 40 plus hours a week in order to achieve success. Maybe I could work efficiently and very productively a few hours a day and create systems that continue to move through my mission, and able to create more, right? Create more leverage, work with more people to be able to achieve what I'm looking to achieve. And that's where it really started to break through and understand, like, whoa, okay, all right. So everything really does come down to perception. I remember when I was in university at Northern Illinois University, I had a professor who would, at the end of class every day, share this message. I didn't realize just how much of an effect it had on me until recently, where I really understood what he was doing. But every time we would end class, he would tell us, walk with royalty. And he would elaborate saying, when you walk, imagine that there is a king on your left side and a queen on your right. And imagine how you would walk walking next to them. And with good posture, he would say. And then, with your chest out. And even on a deeper level, he wouldn't say this, but what he was actually saying between the lines is that vibration, right? Energetically, you are royalty. And moving through life that way, it affects everything around you. And by having this experience, I was able to understand that in order to have sustainable change, aligning my energy with my intentions is absolutely necessary. And now I'm finding that by creating this energetic alignment, it's creating a lasting impression, a lasting change. Another way I perceive it is, as I continue to connect with this version of myself that is creating this life that I'm dreaming of, that I'm choosing. It's like tuning a radio, like a radio to a specific station, right? Going to this station FM. And the longer I sustain it by doing the energetic work and sustaining that level of energy, then I'm able to connect with that lifeline. And as I connect with it, it starts to come to me. And life responds. It starts to present the opportunities, things that were outside of my understanding of what was even possible start to manifest. And as I take these opportunities, it takes me in that direction of that life. Okay, so now let's talk about how to apply energy work to get real results. First, let's talk about breath work. That's one of the most important tools that we have available to us, especially when moments get tough, right? If I feel like I'm having a little bit of anxiety, the first thing we can do is connect with our breath. Because on a subconscious level, when we feel worry, when we feel doubt, we shorten our breath. And what does this do? This activates our nervous system, and it's telling it, hey, we're in danger, right? So our body reacts. And once we do that, then our mind isn't able to perceive things as clear because it's understanding that it's in danger. So it's looking for the fight or flight reaction. So the first thing we can do is connect with our breath. Take long, deep breaths. And by doing that, we let our nervous system know, like, hey, we're okay. We're okay. And as it settles, we're giving enough oxygen to our mind and we're allowing ourselves to really process what's happening. There are a lot of different techniques for breath work, and I encourage you to explore and try, see which one resonates with you. There's a couple that I like, but again, it might not be your style. So definitely look into different types of breath work and try. It could be really simple too. It could be as simple as just taking a 5, 6, 7 second breath in, holding, and then releasing the same amount that it took you to breathe in, right? Personally, I like the box breath, which is a 4 to 5 second inhale, 4 to 5 second hold, 4 to 5 second exhale, 4 to 5 second hold. I find that really helps kind of reset everything with me. Another technique or form of being able to work through your emotional baggage, limiting beliefs, and deep energy work is shamanic techniques, right? There's a lot of different practices out there that you can explore. Some of them work with plant medicine, some of them don't. And again, I encourage you to explore, do your research, and see what resonates with you. I understand we're all very different, and there's so many different paths to achieve what we're speaking on right now. Part of it is testing, right? I went out there and tried a lot of different things, and I found what works with me. Well, and shamanic techniques are something that are really close to me. I've been studying shamanism for the past 8 years, and there's more to it than just going and drinking plant medicine, right? Some of the more profound healing experiences I've had have been with no plant medicine at all, but still in ceremony, right? And one in particular that I'd like to share with you that really helped me understand the power of prayer and intention was one with, they're called temazcales, right? And they're basically sweat lodges. So they're very intense. Well, they can be very intense. They can also be soft. But this particular one was really intense for me, right? I went into the Temazcal and they had a bunch of stones that were heated in the fire, and the heat was so intense. I'm saying so intense that it caused me to get um, almost boils on my skin, right? It burned. And with this intense heat, it was extremely challenging to even breathe. And in that moment, the only bit of energy that I had was dedicated to pray for the strength to be able to just breathe a little bit, to continue to survive, right? And in that experience, I also understood the power of the mind, right? Because initially, my mind was telling me, you're going to die. You're going to die, and this is it. Like, get out of here. And there was another part of me, it's like, no, like, let's just focus on taking this one breath. Let's just pray to have enough strength to take this one breath. And that was the lesson. That was the medicine, is the power of intention and the power of prayer, the power of the mind as well. So this was a really healing experience for me, and it really taught me about just the power of the mind. And I'm not saying you have to go through these extreme conditions by any means, right? There's other ways to achieve this understanding. I'm just sharing that this was one of the experiences for myself, since I'm someone who likes to push the limits mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, that really kind of help put things into perspective. And also, I spoke about this earlier in the video, but identity level shifting. This is an extremely powerful practice that I started to work with the past couple of years. Um, and this entails, as I was sharing, visualizing and more than visualizing, feeling that version of myself that's able to achieve whatever it is I'm looking to create. connecting with those characteristics, even connecting with like, okay, what's their appearance? What do they wear? And the more I connect with that version, and the more importantly, the more I feel what that version feels like, the more I begin to bring that reality towards me, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. So, yeah, understanding that reality is just a mirror, right? It reflects what we have inside. So, if we don't like what we're seeing on the outside, let's make some changes within. And as we begin to make those changes within, over time, reality starts to reflect that what's already within us. And tying in mindset with energy work is something that can be extremely powerful for you. Mindset you can perceive as a GPS, and the energy work is a fuel. So as we continue to do the energy work and shift the mindset as well, that's just another boost. That's another boost to get you to where you're looking to get to. Finally, I just want to share some practices that I do that have been extremely helpful for me, and in particular the past year and a half, where I feel life's just really been going at 1,000 miles an hour in a great way, right? It's been manifesting, it's been moving. A couple of practices that I've been doing that have been really, really transformational is I tie it in the morning and in the evening. In the morning, after I wake up, because my mind is open and receptive to really set the tone for the day. And in the evening, before I go to sleep, because I want to connect with that before I go into the theta wave and going into sleep and being able to work on the subconscious level. But it's this practice that I was sharing earlier. So I take a moment and focus on the perfect day, right? Where am I? For me personally, I'm in my cabin, right? In this beautiful cabin in the mountains with a glass wall looking out, enjoying my coffee, right? And I go about my day. I go about the perfect day, the life that I'm creating, that I desire. And I go through that sequence of the whole day. And again, the most important part of this is the visualization part, is the emotional part. So I connect with that gratitude of already having it, of enjoying that cup of coffee, of that beautiful view, right? Of working on wonderful projects and being surrounded by great, inspirational people. And I go through that in the morning and I connect with that version of myself and I connect with that vibration. And then I start my day. And as I shared earlier, it sets the tone. I begin to embody that version of myself and I take the day on that way. And then also before I go to bed, I do the same thing. Same visualization practice, but more importantly, the feeling of that. And then I go into rest and my subconscious mind is absorbing that and beginning to rework my subconscious patterns and start to connect me more with that vibration. By regularly practicing these techniques, you begin to reprogram your energetic blueprint. You become a new version. People start to notice those shifts in you. It's something that's really outstanding. And that's why real transformation involves aligning your mind, your emotions, subconscious, and energy. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. I'll be sharing more ways to break free from limiting beliefs and step into real transformation.